Ford now offers the Tremor off-road package on their smallest truck, the Maverick. So how will this affect fuel economy? Today, we're going to find out. This is Chris here with Daily Motor, and today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2023 Ford Maverick Tremor. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look around it. We're going to keep this brief because it is drizzling and horrible outside, but here it is, the Maverick Tremor, the newest addition to the Maverick lineup. This one's a Lariat, so we've got leather seats, a heated steering wheel, and some other creature comforts inside. But the main things that you need to know, we've got a different front bumper, some different trim on the outside, and this Maverick Tremor sits an inch higher than the FX4 Maverick. So this is the highest lifted configuration of the Maverick that you can get. If you plan on doing some a little bit more serious off-roading, this would be the truck for you. But the whole point of the Maverick is to have a truck in a smaller configuration and have it still be efficient. So we'll have to see how this thing does on the highway today. So let's go ahead, hop in, and get started with our test. So then, why do we run this test? Well, the EPA's fuel economy test, which gives this Maverick Tremor 24 MPG on the highway, only averages 48 miles per hour, and we know that some people like to take their cars on actual road trips. So what we're going to do today is go out 50 miles and back 50 miles, averaging 70 miles per hour to get a more real-world figure. A couple of things worth noting today. Outside temperature is 33 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to be running the climate control inside the cabin at 73 degrees auto. Tire pressures have been set to their factory door placard indicated 35 PSI cold, and we'll be using the same gas pump both times, using the same 3-click filling method to get the most accurate results possible. Let's go ahead, hop out, grab our first fill. Just over 5 gallons going in there for our first fill on the Maverick Tremor. All right, let's go ahead and hop in the truck. Trip is reset. Climate control is set to 73 degrees auto. We've got our GPS running. Let's go ahead, start the engine, and get started with our test. I keep forgetting where the stop-start button is on this Maverick for some reason. I think it's because Charlie owns an FX4 XLT Maverick, and that has an actual key that you stick in, so I'm not used to driving a Maverick with a push-button start. Anyways, though, we have a few different drive modes here on this Maverick. We'll cycle through those now. We've got normal, tow haul, slippery, mud ruts, sand, and that's it. So today we will be running in normal mode. No eco mode on this Tremor. Okay. Highway is about a half mile away. We'll drive nice and cautiously on the way there, and we'll catch up with you guys once I'm merging onto the highway. And if you caught that in the first part, I did have my heated seat and heated steering wheel on leaving the gas station, but I have now deactivated those, so just running the regular climate control. Now, the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. I'm simply going to merge onto the highway, set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour, and just drive like any normal person would. We won't be doing any drafting or any Honda Insight type maneuvers today. I'm just gonna drive like a normal person on a road trip, see what this Maverick gets in the real world.
Vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
Thank you, Jeeves. Jeeves has a thing of interrupting me. He quite enjoys it. Okay. Let's get this set to 72. Now, looks like no radar cruise on this Maverick Tremor. We must not have the Copilot 360. Lots of bits of ice flying off of the truck. Quite a bit of chaos today, but it looks like we are all set to hit the open road here. And under first impressions, it's a Maverick. But I will tell you, the one thing that does make this package quite comfortable is this suspension that they have on this truck. It's so comfortable, it's damped perfectly. It's one of the best riding vehicles that we've driven so far this year. And I can really see the appeal behind getting this Tremor package. So we'll have to see how this thing does in the fuel economy department to see if it actually is worth the justification to daily drive this Maverick Tremor. Otherwise, though, wind intrusion doesn't seem too bad. We've got a little bit of road noise. These are Tremor-specific tires. They're some sort of all-terrains. And yeah, overall pretty good. We've got a B&O sound system. If you want to see the review on that, we actually already have a video up on DM Sound. We tested a regular Maverick Lariat with the same sound system. So make sure to check that out if you're curious. But as for today, I'm going to go ahead and get settled in here and get to eating up the miles here in this Maverick Tremor, and I will catch up with you guys once I am towards the end of my journey. Wrapping up our drive here in the Maverick Tremor, and indicated on the cluster 25.4 MPG, so about 1 mile per gallon and a half over EPA's estimate. This is pretty good considering it's just over freezing out. We're running on winter blend gas, and with this Tremor we've got those all-terrain tires, so not too bad of a figure. I'm curious to see, I'm going to check on when we get back to the gas station what we got in Charlie's Maverick 2 years ago when we tested that. But overall, it's been a pretty good trip here in this Maverick. Super comfortable ride, very comfortable seats here in this Lariat trim Tremor, and also this B&O sound system. It's not the best, but it's got a lot of power, and it's honestly pretty decent. It's a lot better than I was expecting it to be. So pleasant surprise here in this Maverick Tremor. And well, besides the lack of driver aids, it's really been a great experience here driving this thing on the highway. I like the Maverick. I think overall it's a really cool little package, and I know a lot of people that have bought these trucks recently, of course Charlie being one of them, and a handful of people that I went to college with as well. They've all been buying Mavericks, some of which from my recommendation. Anyways, though, I'm going to finish up my last little stretch right here. I'm going to brim the tank on the Maverick Tremor, and then we'll do some calculations and see how we did. 3.871 gallons going in there for our final fill on the Maverick Tremor. Top in and see how we did. Today's trip was 102.28 miles. Divide that by the 3.871 gallons of regular fuel that we put into this Maverick Tremor, and that gives us 26.4 MPG. Honestly, I think a pretty realistic number, considering that we were reading out 25.5 towards the end of this trip on the cluster. Also considering that we got 30 MPG in the non-Tremor Maverick in a little bit warmer weather, this seems like a pretty accurate number. So let's go ahead and multiply this by the 16.5 gallon fuel tank here in the Maverick Tremor. And that gives you an effective highway cruising range of 430 miles. So quite a bit under that 500 mile mark, but at least it's still over 400 miles. So there you go, 26 MPG, 430 miles of effective highway cruising range. Not too bad of a performance here in the Tremor. I think if it were in warmer weather, we would have gotten pretty dang close to that 30 MPG figure that we saw on Charlie's FX4 Maverick with 4K tow. So you don't have to sacrifice too much buying this Tremor, and honestly, with the quality of the ride on this thing and just the overall kind of cool looks of this truck, I would say that it's probably worth buying this Tremor. If you're curious to learn more about the Tremor or any other Mavericks, we have a ton of Maverick videos over on Daily Motor and DM Sound, so make sure you check those out. We'll have a link to all of them down below. But as for the fuel economy test, that'll wrap it up for us today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been Chris here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.